Hello, hello, hello. Make sure I'm in frame. How are you doing? This is our bonus day, and again, it's a Sunday. I don't want to keep you too long, so I'm going to get right to this information. Hope everybody, again, is doing well. I hope that you have experienced some very beneficial results. And think about, if you feel better in 10 days, imagine how you're going to feel in 10 more days. That's 20. Imagine how you're going to feel 10 more days after that. That's 30 days. Literally, we can make some very amazing changes just within a few days. Hello, Sharon. How are you today? How you feeling? I hope you are well. Um, Now, I will say, out of all the days, of course, everything is very beneficial. Hey, Danielle, everything is beneficial, obviously, making sure we have the right mindset, which entails us understanding Daniel's what he refused, why he refused it, what he replaced it with, and the results that he had. And the whole point of sharing that is so that we can share in those results. But again, sometimes we get so caught up on what he did, we don't adopt the mindset in which he did those things from, which is why most times we don't get those type of results. We'll get some results, but his results were insanely amazing. And the best way to get results like that, and again, science has proven that it's you having intention, being intentional. It's you uh, making sure that you stand for something. Daniel stood for something, right? Um, Again, he refused certain things for a specific reason because he knew those things weren't the best for him, right? So he refused to partake in food that he knew would be very detrimental for the task at hand. And again, just kind of sharing that because that should still be applicable even today with how we make decisions. And again, you read through things enough and you really start to live in the text or just in anything that you're doing, you could see other aspects of it. I mentioned this the other day, I think when we were talking about food. Think about what he said was pretty much, we're not going to do this. Let us do this. Which means that even in that, what they were doing prior to him suggesting what he was going to do, they weren't specifically on that regimen. Didn't mean that they were far off. The whole point was they weren't just doing fiber rich foods, protein rich foods, carbohydrate rich foods, complex carb rich foods. They were doing other things. And like I said, I love when you get down to Daniel 8 through 10 and you hear him say, like, for 21 days, wine never touched my lips. That means that before those 21 days and after those 21 days, they probably did. That also might tell me at the same time that before he asked for those 10 days, wine most likely touched his lips then as well. However, he was smart enough to realize in order for us not to have to be downgraded and having us, hey Lily, good to see you. In order for us not to have to partake in what these people are doing in this land, we need to make sure that we're pulling out all the stops and doing everything that we can possibly do so that we have these insane results and let them see, like, listen, our God, because he created y'all as well, our God has the end on what's going to make us most productive. So again, think about that. They were not wineless. They weren't just all lagoons. Think about that. Again, in that 10-day process, they asked to do that because that was most beneficial for them in that space. If that makes sense. That was most beneficial in that space. So again, this is not always about you having to do this at all times. Have your fun. Daniel had his fun, but also know when it's time to get serious, right? When you know that it's time for you to you're trying to accomplish something. You're okay. Here's the great one. Oh, it's funny I'm about to say that because that's what today's talking about. If you're dealing with stress, okay, that means how I eat, how I pull in nutrients has to change. As a great example is, when they'll tell you this too, when you are in a very stressful state, you should actually double your intake of vitamins and nutrients because your body uses twice as much to help you to handle those stressful moments. Because when you, the essence of you, feel stressed, all 50 trillion cells that you have, all 50 trillion cells, think about that, 50 trillion cells that all have different functions, still has their own one broadcast, your DNA, who you are. So it's a community of one. Go figure. Again, made in God's image, according to his likeness. We're made just like that. They're the community of one. And when you're stressed, everything else is stressed. So the body needs gasoline. It needs its nutrients to be able to handle what's going on. So again, just little tricks like this, why we don't have to be on these little diets or wondering what's going on with us. Okay, if you are stressed, you need twice as much vitamin C. You need twice as much vitamin D and K2. You need twice as much vitamin A. You also need ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen. Whole nother conversation for another day. We talk about that in the community, but you need stuff like that as well. There are things that are designed for us so that we can handle certain things, but just knowing what they are and putting them into play prevents us from having to take medications because that's last resort, or prevents us from having to, again, think that I got to take all the seasoning out of my food. No, you have to know what to eat, when to eat it, where you are, how you are, the disposition that you have. That's going to determine how your body processes those foods. Okay. I think, this document addresses some of that stuff. All right, it's 5:06 again. I want to get you guys out of here, and hopefully we'll continue this relationship past this. But for now, let's get through this paper. All right, we're on the bonus day. Okay. All right. Hopefully, we got our minds ready to address our mindset so that our mind could shift. Hopefully, we did that. And remember, if nothing else, none of this is about perfection. It's about direction. When you have direction, you can be intentional. It's about direction. It's never about perfection because there's no such thing. Okay, so overview. Daniel refusals. Like I said, we're talking about the power of no. That's important to know what you stand for, know why you stand for it, know what you replace, know what you put in the place of what somebody else wants you to do. And then also with those, hopefully you're intentional enough to know the reason why I'm doing this is watch this because of these results that we're having. Hopefully you guys are getting results, which proves the theory. When we say no to certain things in certain seasons, like Daniel did for those 10 days, when we stand firm and when we make better choices because of what we're trying to accomplish, we're going to have visible changes, visible results. Okay. Again, now mind shift is to help us understand the whole concept of circadian rhythm. Now watch this. I guarantee you Daniel and them didn't have problem with circadian rhythm. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there was no lights. Artificial lights disrupt. That's the thing. They didn't have screens. They didn't have phones, computers. Those things disrupt your circadian rhythm because of the light. So again, either practical stuff that we got to learn today, but they operated by this back then too. Also, eating wasn't necessarily, even back in that day, just you didn't have all these different food places on the corner. You didn't have fast food. You had to catch your food. That was already tiring in itself. So you were already hungry because you had to catch this food, kill this food, cook this food. So they weren't eating all day long. So they had the meal timing properly. Like, this stuff is not new. It's just science is helping us see, why it works. Obviously, when the sun goes down and you don't have these artificial light, as the sun goes down, your genes start to realize the sun's going down. So you're getting tired. These jokers were getting tired, obviously. Okay. Again, according to what Daniel chose, obviously they knew enough about what God taught them to know what to eat to nourish their bodies, right? And obviously they were active, which is why the Bible says their results were they were fatter and fairer, which means not only did they have mental clarity, but they looked like models, like they looked like, He-Man. They were like so cut up. That's literally when it said fatter. It meant that they were fat in flesh, like they were. You saw shoulders, you saw biceps, you saw chest. Like they were actually nice looking men, obviously. So again, they followed these same things, but just in a different format. Now, this is why this bonus day was important for me to add, which is kind of cool because it ends on a Sunday, is understanding the importance of not only managing your stress and understanding self-care, but also about community and how it all goes together, because of isolation and stress together is like a double whammy. And you can have all the 5 areas of focus all in line, but if you do not manage your stress, and if you don't have a support system, your results can tank. All right. Like I haven't, just for me, even doing this this 10-day Daniel challenge with you all. And again, I'm not hypocritical, so I'm doing it with you. I lost 7 pounds in the 10 days. I haven't been able to do that in a while. Like I have plateaued, because trying to do these things alone, sometimes it's very difficult. And so it's a lot easier when you have people and you all are doing this together. Okay. All right. Bible. Again, people understand that word anxious here. Literally, it also means stressed. Do not be stressed about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition. It's supplication, petition. Sometimes I don't like translations, and I'll explain why in a minute. With thanksgiving, present your request to God. In essence, like the older versions use the word supplications, and the word supplication is still like literally prayer. It's just a more intense prayer. And I say the even better understand it as just being our perspective. He's saying don't just pray, bug the heck out of them. Like literally, they'll tell you know what I'm saying. You got to keep asking God. Like supplication means bug him. Like again, like so with prayer and bugging me, like, and with Thanksgiving though, present your request and continue to present that request, because as long as you're talking to him and continue to presenting it to him, it's going to be hard for you to be in that stressful state because of you talking to God. And then again, even in that, it tells you that after this, I didn't put it on here, but that his peace that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts. So again, that's that's another one. And I think Luke, it was dealing with Mary and Martha, and Martha was stressed, and it was stressed because she felt like she had to do certain things and was mad at Mary, because Mary, like, you sitting at the feet of Jesus, listening to this man talk, and the house got like, no, like, she's like, he doesn't come all the time, so this is where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes there's just, again, I'm just saying that the Bible talks about stress in so many ways. But again, it obviously must have been enough for God to make sure it was in scripture, for us to know, like, it's something that we have to make sure we manage, let alone do our best to stay out of. What you commit to is essential, but your reasons or your why is even more critical. Your why will dictate your choices and the results of those choices. Why are you committing to change? All right. Why are you committing to change? And hopefully, again, we don't know how did that even connect? Because a lot of times when we're not committed to change, then we're just kind of like, we're just here. And a lot of time when you're here, you can be swayed either way, which way. And that also is in some ways how stress begins. So we want to be mindful of that type of stuff. Watch this. Your gut feels everything. Your gut feels everything. It's called the mind-gut mirror, okay? Your gut is your second brain. Again, the Bible said that a man thinketh in his heart. That's all connected to your gut. Well, your gut, your whole body's connected. I don't know why we sometimes think that the heart ain't connected to the brain ain't connected to the heart. The whole body's connected. But what they've just realized, and again, we should have known this already, but in the last 20 years, that the gut and the brain actually think independently. Your gut does not need your brain to think, and your brain does not need your gut. They think independently and they communicate with one another. Okay. Your gut is your second brain. It reflects every emotion. All right. Your gut reflects every emotion. Stress signals travel directly to digestion. Hear that. That's huge. Stress signals travel directly to digestion. Emotional states affect nutrient absorption. Okay. So when you're stressed, it actually does, your gut mirrors that, and your gut starts to try its best to process your food in a stressful state. How productive are you when you're stressful? And depending on how stressed you are, how productive are you in those even more stressful states. That's literally, hear me, it's not just an analogy. Your gut mirrors that. So if you are stressed all the way the heck out, your gut is stressed all the way the heck out. So anything that you eat, you're not going to really digest, and it's not going to be as good for you as it should be. Okay. Eating under stress, warning signs: poor digestion, reduces nutrient absorption, increases inflammation, compromises gut barrier. That's major, because when your gut barrier is compromised, then you're just in danger. Okay. Avoid eating when, all right, these times. If you don't take any other document and keep on side of you, I probably would say this would be the one. Because again, why does it matter to do everything else if you're doing them in a stressful state? Avoid eating when you're angry, anxious, rushed, or overwhelmed, because you are digesting with an angry gut. You're digesting with an anxious gut. You're digesting with a rushed gut, and you're digesting with an overwhelmed gut. Okay? The stress cascade. I talk too fast. Physical impact. The cascade physical impact: high blood pressure just by eating when you're stressed, headaches, dizziness, stroke risk, digestive issues. Okay? Mental impact: anxiety. So anxiety is stress, but it's the next level, which eventually gets to depression, which is the chronic state of it. Irritability, we all know that one too. That one's kind of before the stress level. We get irritated, then we get stressed. Y'all know, like, yeah. So irritability, okay, and unfortunately, and this actually from women and men, you have decreased libido, and that's obviously going to be important for a lot of people. You also experience brain fog when you are stressed. Very important stuff. Okay, stress and weight, the hidden connection, especially important for women. Check this out. The stress weight paradox. Even without overeating, digestive system slows dramatically. Okay, metabolism becomes compromised. Weight gain can occur. Nutrients aren't properly absorbed when you are stressed. Okay, women's health alert. Research shows stress-related eating is linked to obesity. Women particularly vulnerable. Okay, it hits you even harder. There's also hormonal impacts for you all. It's more significant for you. Weight patterns affected by stress. And again, learning this stuff, it makes me sometimes say like, wow, like somebody, because when we see stuff and we don't know stuff, what is the first thing we do? Which is why it's good that we know things, which transforms our mind from being judgmental to now understanding. There'll be one point like, man, this person, they just ain't trying, or this person, they're this and they're that. When you understand the research and what's being shown by the numbers, a lot of things that are happening, and on the I think with what the Daniel Challenge is, I don't know if you remember one of the statistics on that. Out of all the categories that they have tested for, as far as seeing the percentage of obesity out of all categories, races, genders, ethnicities, Black women have the highest. It's 80% of all African American, all Black women are obese. Is it because they all have a bad diet? Not at all. Again, people may not be eating all the best stuff, but they're not the only ones eating bad stuff. However, I can say just by knowing many of our women, they are very stressed, and rightfully so, because some of us Black men are knuckleheads, and some of the kids knuckleheads. So a lot of the stress that you're experiencing as a Black woman, it's gonna link to obesity. It's gonna also impact your hormones. Again, we walk around like, oh, she's just a woman. That's what they do. That's not true. Take this information and use this to guard your heart and to guard the perspective so that you no longer conform your minds to what people have told you. Because again, come on, we all believe it. Yeah, that's come on, that's what women do. We are, we're hormonal, we blah 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 blah. No, that's not necessarily the case. You're stressed. You're dealing with a lot. I'm not saying that's everybody's case, but I really believe the majority are stressed. It's not that they're having bad diets. And then a lot of times they're not eating, which we talked about that as well. Like not eating, even skipping breakfast on a regular basis for a woman is a horrible thing. But because they're trying to make sure everybody else is good, then they're not making sure they're good. It becomes an issue. All right. Again, so a lot of these things that you may be experiencing, literally may not have anything to do with your diet as much as it is your stress. And that's why I wanted to bring this in here, because I don't want you to, I'm doing all the 5 areas of focus, but I'm not getting no results. What's going on? If you're doing, trust me, those 5 areas of focus do not plateau. They are tried and true. Literally over 100 people have tried this, tried and true. It does not plateau. If you're having issues, then the next thing is to check your stress levels and your surroundings. What kind of community do you have? How are your stress levels? Hope that makes sense. Okay, movement medicine. I want to bring this in here because, again, even though obviously movement is nothing without those other things, there are certain chemicals that are released during certain type of movement, i.e. even walking, that helps to relieve stress, which is why I put that in here. Daily activity goal, 30 minutes minimum. Choose one or both. Walking, exercise. It's funny because a scientist that's really big on this, she discovers something that takes place when you exercise, and she calls it the happy something. I got to go over it again and take my notes. But they notice like there's a hormonal there's a hormone that releases a chemical that helps you to fight depression and all these different things. So yeah, like walking and exercising can also help with those stress levels. The 6-on-6 breathing technique, which is also very known and used often. Inhale, 6 count, exhale, 6 count. Practice anywhere, anytime. Like I wake up in the morning, I do that, not because I wake up stressed, but because I want to wake up relaxed. Because with me, you might can relate to this as well. A lot of times I wake up like, okay, what I got to do? What I got to do next? Well, what I got to work on first? And I got to tell myself, don't start your day like that. And I start doing this breathing. And when I tell you, I just feel my body just relax. Practice what I preach and what I study, okay? Okay. Strategic breaks are very important, okay? Divert daily, withdraw weekly, abandon annually. A great way to remember that, okay? Divert daily, which means take you about an hour or more to like divert from everything. Every responsibility, you gotta take a break. Weekly, I'm still trying to learn the weekly. I've got the daily. The weekly, take a day where you like literally it's from sun up to sundown. It's your day. You gotta regroup. You have to rest. God didn't create that day of rest for is any reason. And of course we see now it was more figurative. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the Sabbath day, but you have to have a day of rest because your body was designed for that. And then abandon annually, okay? So divert daily, short breaks, mini pauses, moments of calm. Withdraw weekly, longer rest periods, technology breaks, self-care time. Go get your nails done, go to a spa, just get away from things and recharge. These things help to relieve stress. Abandon annually. That means go ahead and take your vacation. Completely disconnect from people. I don't have time. Don't answer your phone. Like break, okay? Full recharge so that you can continue to be productive, so that you continue to be a blessing and serve others without feeling like you're being drained in the process. You got to give them something to drain because they're going to drain you anyway. Right? Right. Okay. 5 keys to mental balance. Set boundaries. Say yes mindfully. No overextending. Know your limits. These things help to manage stress. I'm pretty good at that one these days. I'm going to tell you no, for sure. I do not overextend for anybody because I realize at the end of the day, for me to overextend, I'm not going to be as productive as I can be. Yeah, you're still going to get something out of me, but it's still not going to be my best. And so that I can be my best, so that I can go to sleep with a clear conscience, I might have to tell you no, so tomorrow I can do and be better. I'm not going to hop and jump. Like, so yeah, anyways, get the point. Make sure that you're mindful about that kind of things. Find your hobby. I start and stop those sometimes. You guys have hobbies. One of mine is bowling, and it's funny because when the last time I did it like about a year or so ago, I started back bowling and it was helping. I would, in the middle of the day, I would just go. I got 3 bowling balls in my trunk that I don't even hardly use, but I would go and it felt good because I had to focus on bowling, so I couldn't focus on work or anything else. Find your hobby, develop new skills, enjoy responsibility-free time. Explore interests. It helps. These are all stress relievers. Sleep schedule, consistent bedtime, regular routine, same time nightly. Yes, cut them off. I said this the other day too. There's 2 things that you better be able to control or your life is just not in a great place. How your day starts, how your day ends. For sure, we can't control what happened in the middle of the day. I got cut off on the way home and I wanted to tell her something. Like I'm already going through the light and you decide to turn right in front of me. I couldn't control that. And God knows I wanted to say something, but I've had a pretty good day. So because I control how my day start, I was able to control my tongue. However, again, if we do not do that, not however, because I was about to keep going in about that. If we allow people to have the start of our day, you start your day off balance. Control how it starts, control how it ends, and you're not going to completely eliminate stress, but you will diminish it. All right. I don't know if y'all keep seeing me pushing my glasses up because that 7 pounds I lost. Here's one of the things too. One of the places you want to relieve inflammation most is your brain, your head. That's one of the first places that inflammation goes. And that's literally a lot of times how we have brain fog or we can have brain issues. That's losing that 7 pounds. My glasses don't hardly fit on my face, but I'm cool because I feel better. So it's just interesting to know, like, when you really in that fasting correctly. And again, the reason why you all didn't do it, because your body has to be in a certain place. Like I was literally 41 hours with no hunger. That's a good sign. But yeah, my glasses don't fit on my face no more. Morning meditation, 5+ minutes daily. This I have down packed, period. First thing in the morning, start small, okay? But give yourself something in the morning. Like, don't just rush out of bed. Give yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get up to like 15 if you can. Sometimes I'll stand in bed for 30 minutes. If I feel like, okay, Nelson, you're starting off your day too overwhelmed for no reason and your day hasn't started, you're going to lay here. And I will lay there until I feel calm. Okay? Stay connected. Regular family time. Friend check-ins. Maintain relationships. Isolation has just as a big impact on your system as smokers, as being a smoker. It's one of the, I don't know why I'm in all these studies, but they also, I did a study on that as well, like the impact of isolation, which makes sense because the Bible talks about unity and connection so much. It makes sense that when you're isolated, it could be detrimental to your health because you were created for connection. All right, the power of connection now that we're here. Physical benefits of connecting. It actually boosts immunity, okay? Big thing, which is, hey, 2020, y'all already know what year that was. I kept my mouth shut. I listen, I let everybody live their life, but I knew what I was and was not gonna do. But if you're seeing it's funny because they censored stuff back then for a reason. Now that they've uncensored it, we're starting to hear how they really played on the emotions of America. Tapes about Fauci coming out saying like he was just a horrible person when it came to that. But what they didn't realize was going to happen was because of people being isolated, which it's funny because he even said on the video that we didn't tell people they had to isolate. Yes, you did. You backpedaling. But that isolation has messed up so many of our immune systems. because literally you boost your immunity around people. You're able to fight things when you're around other people because you pick up from other people. Insane. But to be isolated, then you don't have that you don't build up that immunity, which will cause you to get sick a lot easier and a lot faster. Okay, so understand that. Like the next, hopefully y'all will listen to that stuff and seeing what's going on right now. And you never believe, if you did believe it, you never believe it again. Isolation is the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody. It makes you more susceptible to sicknesses. Okay, so the power of connection and having relationships and being around people, it boosts immunity. It reduces inflammation because stress and being isolated and being in your own head actually causes inflammation. But just being around people reduces inflammation. It also speeds up recovery. Okay? Honestly, think about it. When you really know you have something to live for, it can actually speed up your recovery. Mental impact. It creates belonging. It extends lifespan. It improves wellness. Okay? And this is Old Testament. This ain't even New Testament. Watch this. This is Old Testament. Ecclesiastic 4:9-10. Two are better than one. I didn't say it. This is the Bible. Look it up. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up, but pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Scripture, the power of connections. And we also know the other scriptures that iron sharpens iron. So I forgot the rest of it, but we know that's also about connection. There's a couple other scriptures that I came across about connection, but I didn't want to, overwhelm you with the scriptures. I thought this was a really good one, but just understanding the importance of being connected with people. All right. Okay. I did good. It's 5:30 right now. Body response patterns. When you feel stress, I want you to take this. I want you to answer this. Because again, if you want 2025, listen, every year I'm trying to be better the next year than I was. I mean, the year that we're on than I was the year before. And I look back at pictures and I see the difference. And I just ran into somebody today that I haven't seen in years, a guy at church, and he was like, bro, like, are you aging backwards? That's literally my goal. Like, I never want to feel like I am quote unquote quote about to be 47 years old. I'm 3 years from 50. What is that? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I'll never look at it and I'll never feel it because I'll never stop doing what I know I need to do. The moment we stop is the moment your body stops. And when your body stops, that's how you start to age. All right. Anyways, really read this. When you feel stressed, do you notice changes in your eating speed, portion sizes, food choices, exercise motivation? Write down your patterns over 3 stressful days. That's going to help you make better decisions. Again, never want to diet, never want to have to just take salt, different things and stop eating ice cream. Well, if you want to be able to live a long, healthy life and be able to do certain things and be intentional with things, you got to also make sure you monitor your stress levels and what you're doing, and just not just monitoring them, but also when you are, what are you doing in those windows? Sometimes stress we might not be able to avoid it, but if we are stressed, what are we doing in that stressful window? Make sure that you are being mindful that you're not making it worse by the things that you're adding on that stressful space. Track for 1 week. What types of movement make you feel less stress? What time of day does exercise best reduce your stress? Honestly, for me, let me tell you straight up, you guys probably had the same habit that I have. Like sometimes I do stuff and then because life happens, I adjust it to life. Worst decisions that I make is when I do that. I adjust my routines to try to make this over here easy. And then I start to notice that I decline. For me, which is true because it helps you to cardio, like walking and exercise makes you fight stress. When I do that first thing in the morning, I'm good for the rest of the day. So for me, like what it reduces stress, because life is stressful in itself, is doing that early in the morning. So again, I follow the same stuff. How does your eating change on days you exercise versus days you don't? Man, horrible. That's why I don't hardly ever not do anything. If I don't even work out, I'm going to walk. Rate each day's stress levels 1 through 10 alongside these observations. Again, these things are going to help you make more mindful and intentional decisions, which means that you're going to have better results, which are insane to know that you can do it that way. All right. Now we've officially have completed everything. Like again, I hope you're feeling well. I feel amazing. I'm telling you, I feel good. Yeah, like I've been trying to get those 7 pounds off for a while. May we have the documents for yesterday and today, please? Or I have. Okay, if you didn't get it, see, that's what I'm saying. This is why I don't have the other link for you. You know, I got a VA, and if you didn't get it, just like watch this. Which again, hey, sometimes you just gotta do things. He scheduled all the days, right? He didn't schedule this day, so I scheduled this day like at 4:45. I figured out on my own, so yeah, I'm just been having some issues with them. So if you didn't get it, thanks for telling me. I will make sure you get the documents from yesterday. I'll make sure you get the documents from today. And then, like I said, the ones that I know that have been active, there are more people in the group. The only one that I'm necessarily inviting there is another Zoom call tomorrow, but this is for the people that are in the community. Just in case you guys are interested in being a part, especially the ones that have been active, I'm going to personally send you a link to join us, and we're on Zoom. We're able to talk. We're able to ask questions. We're able to share. It's a whole different process. So I will get you not only those documents, but you'll also get a link to the Zoom as well, and see if you want to be a part of the community long term. And like I said, I'm gonna have to sit with him on a lot of times I have to sit with him on Zoom to make sure things are done. And I got to do that again if you didn't get an email. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. So again, definitely, he works on Philippine time, so I'll be able to get with him at about, I think it's 9 o'clock our time. So I will make sure that you all get an email before 10 a.m. Tomorrow. And I'm glad, like, again, and I want to also hear from you all. Lily, thank you. Like, sometimes I know a lot of information, and I can be a lot. So I want to make sure that I'm not overbearing. And the fact that you're even asking for both documents says that you saw some value in this. So I really appreciate that. And these are things that I want to really start to share with the body of Christ, because I feel, just my experience alone, the benefits that I have, the way my brain is fast. It's affected the way I play piano. It's affected the way that how fast I move with production. It affects how I do so many things. And sometimes I'm looking at a lot of friends that are overweight that are amazing musicians. I'm like, man, if y'all really took care of y'all guts and lost a lot of that weight, you don't even understand how much quicker your brain would work and how much better you would actually be. Some of these preachers, how much better you'd preach, how much better we would be as people, how much more temperate we would be. Better attitudes, better things. And so I do want to share this stuff, but again, I'm still trying to find my sweet spot of not overdoing it, but doing enough of it. So again, that encourages me. Thank you. I will make sure you get them. And again, I will be talking to some of you all individually. Lily, I would love to have a conversation with you. Sharon, I'll be reaching out to you, because again, I want to make sure that this is that I'm offering things that are beneficial for everyone. And that this is something that I can continue to revamp. Of course, I won't go live 10 days in a row ever again, but I will still want to offer the 10-day as something that people could do. I'll probably even do some pre-recordings and things like that. But yeah, just look forward to me reaching out to you all and just picking your brains. But yeah, that's it. We are good. We are done. And again, I'll also send some links as far as, like, I would love to hear testimonies and just what did you notice changed for you? Like, how are you feeling? That's most important. The mental clarity. How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? I want to know. So, either I'll send you something or you can just send it to me automatically. Either way, I'm definitely going to be coming and asking. And then again, if there's no questions, does anybody have any questions? Because if not, I will let you go. And like I said, I will send you those documents. And on those documents, you will also have the link to tomorrow's Zoom call. Any questions? Okay, if not, we are good to go. Again, I'm grateful for you all for being here, your commitment, and literally this says a lot for who you're going to become or who you're going to evolve into in 2025. We're going to be all right. If nobody else is, we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna be trailblazers. So proud of every last one of you. I will hopefully see you on the call tomorrow. Look for me, like I said, to resend you all messages, and you'll be getting emails. Just hang with your boy. We're going on a journey. Some things happening this year. We're going somewhere. All right, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Enjoy it, Sunday Fun Day. And let's go ahead and get on this call tomorrow and just plan out the rest of these 10 weeks where if you're going to join us 10 weeks, again, you can still be on the call and just see what the community is doing. You can hear some of the testimonies of some of the other people that have already done a 10 week. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Love and appreciate you all.